welcome back to my channel. I'm Kayla. Today we are doing a quick and fun laser engraved video. We are going to be engraving on this charcuterie board that I found at grocery outlet. It is just a plain black board. I still haven't taken the barcode off. It's got this cute little rope decoration on it. It is about 20 inches long and about 5.5 or so inches wide. We are going to be engraving a fun mountain scene on it. So the design that we're going to be doing today, I got off of Creative Fabrica. I will leave it linked down below in case you want to download it yourself. It actually came in a pack of, I think, like 6 or 8 other like mountain style designs. So I was specifically looking for something that went long ways. I was trying to decide if I wanted it to go long ways this way or if it was gonna go this way. I had a hard time finding something that would be like skinny enough to go this way, so we're going this way. This is actually a gift from my mother-in-law. Her kitchen is very like mountainy, wildlife, forest, things like that. So this is actually going to be a birthday gift for her. So we are going to engrave a fun like bear, tree, mountain scene. So yeah, so I'm gonna show you the design that I got from Creative Fabrica. I'm gonna show you my settings in LightBurn, and then we are going to engrave. Now, disclaimer, I will say, I don't know exactly what this wood is coated in, obviously, because I bought it. I don't know what kind of paint they used, but from all of my research, it said that paint is laser safe. You know, as long as it's dry, you're not engraving on it wet or anything. So keep that in mind when you are engraving. You obviously want to make sure what you're engraving is safe. You want to make sure you have proper ventilation and all of that stuff when you are engraving, especially if you don't know exactly what material it's made out of. So yeah, so I know this is painted black. I don't know exactly what kind of paint, but from all of my research, I figured it was safe. So do as I say, not as I do. Do your own research. Make sure what you are engraving is perfectly safe to engrave on. And let's go over to the computer and I'll show you the design. So this is the bundle pack that I downloaded from Creative Fabrica. It's this long one right here that really caught my eye, that I thought would look really good against like the long skinny charcuterie board. And I just really thought that that would be perfect. So I went ahead and downloaded it. And what we're going to do is we're going to drag and drop it into LightBurn. So we're just going to open up our set. And it comes with like all different file types, PNG, SVG, all of that good stuff. So we're going to open up the SVG. And let me bring up LightBurn also. Okay, so we have a new LightBurn window pulled up. And we are just going to go to our file and simply drag and drop. And there we have it. So I'm going to make it bigger. We're going to do about 16.5 by 5, and that was about perfect. So now what we're going to do, if you can see, all of these pieces are individual. So what we're going to do is we're just going to highlight everything, and you could either Control G on your keyboard, or you could right click and group. And then that's just going to ensure that nothing moves and you can move the whole thing together. So now we are going to, actually, let me center that. Sorry, I didn't realize that was off. So now we are going to make sure this is set to fill. Okay, and then this is the settings that I had. I've actually already engraved this. I'm just showing you how I brought it in after I've already filmed. So these are the settings that I had. I had my speed at 500. I had my max and min power at 75, and I actually had the air off. I don't know why that was on. And then I had this at 300, and I hit OK, and that saved all of my settings. So once you have it the size you want and all your settings that you want, then you're going to send it over to your machine. This right here, all of these settings, the speed, power, that's really just going to be up to you, how deep you want the engraving, how, you know, if you want it just barely scratching the surface, you're obviously going to do it faster with a little bit less power. So it really just depends on the final look that you're going for. I knew that 500 was a decent speed, not too fast, not too slow, but I knew that I did want it pretty deep, so I did a higher power. And then I just sent it over to the machine. I kept my origin point on the top left. So if I did like a rectangle right here, Let me just say that this rectangle is the charcuterie board. The green dot is where our red laser dot is going to be. That's where it's just going to start out on the board. This isn't where it starts engraving because it starts engraving from the bottom. But when it traces our job, it's going to start here and it's going to go down and show me exactly where it will be on the board. You can change this to wherever you want if you want to start out centered, and then it'll trace it for you, or frame, sorry, or you could do upper right, you could do upper middle, lower middle. It really is up to you. I tend to hang out on the top left. So this is just where it's going to start the trace to make sure that you have it on your item exactly where you want it. So I'm going to get rid of that box, and then we're going to send it over to the machine and engrave it. Okay, so I took off the fun little rope accent because it wouldn't lay flat otherwise, so I took that off. And I actually need to lower the bed because if I move this over to where I want to start my trace, it'll hit. So we're going to hit the Z axis button and lower it. And then we'll bring it over. And then we will redo our autofocus, and that's going to help us get the perfect focus location. Now, I have made this design pretty much as big as I possibly can, so hopefully we're good. So I'm going to hit origin and then autofocus, and it'll bring it back up to where it needs to go. Okay, and now we're going to frame. Okay, so I need to go down a little bit, and really I'm just eyeballing this. I don't have a better a better science for you. I'm really just watching where it goes, eyeballing it. This thing is not perfectly square. It kind of gets a little more narrow the more you go to the bottom. It's wider up here and more narrow down here. So I'm basically just checking where how much room I have up here when it traces, how much room I have down here, and then how much room I have on the sides. We look pretty, okay, I think that actually looks really, really good. I double checked my settings, so I'm set to fill. It's the speed and power that I want. We've traced, we've focused. So now we're gonna close the lid and engrave and see how it turns out. So now that it's done engraving, we're just gonna take this old washcloth and wipe it up. There's always a little bit of char and dust and things like that when you engrave. So I'm simply just wiping it all up, and then you can see right here on my washcloth just how dirty it really gets. That black paint and dust really got everywhere. So just giving it a good wipe down. I'm not spraying anything, just wiping it down with a rag and cleaning it up, and it cleaned up beautifully. So that is going to do it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I think it turned out great. I love the different like variations in the wood underneath the paint. I think it turned out great. I think we sized it perfect. I think we centered it just about perfect. I mean, we've got, you know, pretty even space on top, bottom, and on the sides, and I'm really happy with how this turned out. I hope my mother-in-law loves it. This is totally her style. And yeah, I really like how deep the engraving is. And like I said at the beginning, you know, you want to make sure what you're engraving is 100% laser safe. Now, it did kind of make my office smell a little bit, but I have really good ventilation in here. My hose goes right outside. I opened up some windows, I turned on the fan. So I'm not too worried about it, but it was a little stinky. But my acrylic gets a little stinky when it cuts too. So just keep that in mind. You know, if it makes you feel more comfortable, wear a mask. You know, there's different things that you can do. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave me a comment down below and say hi, and I will see you in my next video.